I want to ask you about the Fight Island. Are you curious about how going to make it happen? I don't know. The people is talking about an octagon in the beach, and the things looks really like a paradise, you know. And what do you think about it?
I think what it's going to be, so I'm a businessman and I know how business is. It's not hard to buy an island, and it's not hard to buy material. What's hard is getting actual people there during a pandemic and getting the materials there to that island, depending on where the island is. So I know they're trying to work fast and get it going. I think it's going to be closer, more like Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi's last event was all tents, and I remember people telling me that the warm-up rooms were super cold, but once you got in the arena, it was super hot. So I can't picture kind of Fight Island being like that. I think the biggest infrastructure they would have to work on is, hotels and stuff. But, they could also buy an island that there's stuff already there. So, and all they need is, like, if it's a hotel, all they need is really like a banquet hall to do the fights, because, you're not going to have a crowd. It's just the fighters and the coaches and the people videotaping. So, it all depends on if you get the details of it. Unfortunately, like, not a lot of people, I haven't heard anything, know the details of it. So, some people heard they're like, close to the Virgin Islands or something like that. You really don't know. But depending on the island they bought and what's on it, it could happen. It just takes time. Like I said, it's a pandemic, so the rough thing is getting materials there. That's always tough, especially on an island, getting materials there, but also getting people there to work and finish it quick.
And what about
Jimmie,
fighting without people in the stadium?
I did the Ultimate Fighter against Bermudez. I think it's a lot more relaxing when you do it. It's like kind of you don't have to deal with any. I guess there's just a lot more focus, at least for me. Like when I fought on the Ultimate Fighter, the only thing that sucked is that I didn't know my coaches. So it was like they were telling me things to do, and I don't really know them. Your coaches, you know them your whole life or a good majority of years. So having no crowd there, it's not really going to bother me. I think everybody's different. But fighting no crowd, yeah, who cares? All you miss is the cheering or the booing or the ahs, kind of thing. So I'm okay with it.
Jimmie, sorry, you say you wanted to retire at the age of 35 years old. Do you still think the same?
That's always been like where I wanted to be, 35. That's still like when I get closer, I'll make a decision, but I still got, 4.5 years before I hit 35, and I got a good 4 years to really, worry about it. Right now, besides the injury I'm having, getting better from it and feeling better and training and all that, everything else is good. I think the biggest thing that comes with the age is just experience.
Jimmie, talking about the opposite of your retire, what made you start in MMA?
I just been doing martial arts since I was a kid at Tiger Showman's, and from there, you learn how to compete just to get better as a martial artist, and then started competing. I did horrible, and then as I started getting older, I started doing some, I was doing better, and I started doing some kickboxing matches, was doing well, and I basically kind of wanted to see how far I could take it, and I got this far, so it's like I need to, keep going full force, and, once I'm done fighting, I'm done, but at least I have no regrets.
What would you like to do after retirement, Jimmie?
No, I own 2 schools already. I own one in Brooklyn. I own a third of that, and then I own my school in New York City. So, I do the fighting's almost like a bonus check, but my main thing I do that I love to do is teaching. And there's nothing better than, doing something you love, doing something you help kids build their confidence and be able to teach them how to defend themselves, and adults self-defense, and having them be able to get in better shape so they can live longer and feel better. Right now with this pandemic, it's the best thing for them to do is train and work out. Unfortunately, gyms get boring, but martial arts never gets boring, and there's always something you can learn, whether it's jiu-jitsu or kickboxing. So I teach, and I love to teach, and I'll be teaching for the rest of my life.
Jimmie, where do you like the most? training, fighting, or teaching?
That's I mean, there's all
A
different
tricky
things.
one.
I mean, there's no cons against teaching. There's no cons against teaching. Fighting, the only thing that sucks is making weight, but getting your hand raised or just getting in there and like realizing like he's gonna try to beat the shit out of me, I gotta beat the shit out of him, everybody's watching is pretty cool. And then getting your hand raised, there's like no drug or drink that will ever reach that high. And I always love training. So like the only cons with training is when you get hurt, but teaching there's no cons. Fighting, I would say the biggest con is obviously not winning sometimes, but you learn from that. As a martial artist, you always learn from your losses and you learn from your wins too. Cutting weight is the biggest con, I think, for fighting. And training, I think just getting hurt, you know, but training's awesome. I love training. That keeps me sane. I mean, I do other things as a meditation or that keeps me active and keeps me going, but training's like, I love all three. So I think my top two obviously would be training and teaching. Fighting, I think the biggest thing was fighting is just cutting weight. Cutting weight sucks.
All right, Jimmie, thank you very much for your time. We're going to leave you.
One.
Yes,
Sorry.
What's up?
yes.
Jimmie,
Go ahead.
Jimmie, I have spoken with a friend of yours, Gennaro, and he said you are good with the insults in Spanish. Is true?
The answer is, I honestly, so
Sorry.
the reason I only speak a little bit poquito Spanish is I grew up, my dad left when I was a kid. And who came back in my life was my uncle, but he came back when I was like 14, 15 years old, which is my dad's brother. So he's like a father to me. So I grew up with just my mom, who's Italian. So I didn't really get to grow up, which I wish English was my second language and Spanish was my first language. So I didn't really get to grow up with that. So the Spanish I did learn was just in school. So my reading and my writing was always better than my speaking. But I could pick out words that someone's talking and kind of put an idea together what they're saying. But that's like the main reason why I don't speak Spanish. And then I always get shit on by my uncle. He's like, you gotta learn. And we practice, but it's like I only have so many hours a day. To be honest with you, I'm always busy. Even with this pandemic going on, the first couple of weeks were slow. But now I'm just super busy with training, you know, teaching my students so they have something they could do while they're home. And we're going through this pandemic. Like, even when we're not in a pandemic, I literally wake up, I train, I go to my school, I teach, I take another hour off to train again for an hour, and then I go back teaching again. Like, I leave my house at 9, and I get home at 11 o'clock. I chill for an hour, and then I go right back to bed. And I go back to bed. I go to bed at 12, and then I wake up and do the same shit all over again. So it's like that's my day, Monday through Friday. And then Saturdays are a little different with the hours of teaching, but I never thought I would say this, but I wish there was more hours in a day. If I had more hours in a day, I could definitely get a lot more shit done.
Gracias por visitar Somos MMA en YouTube. No olvides suscribirte a nuestro canal y activar las notificaciones para seguir disfrutando de nuestro contenido.